Joan, Carl. Oh, hi, Jenny just joined. Matt. Excellent. Okay, so folks, thanks for joining us. There's so much going on online right now. So I know I really wanted to make sure that I've been showing up here this week for you as much as possible because you're my community. You mean a lot to me. I really want to help us all try to stay calm and empowered through this whole pandemic time. And so I just really, this is my second time showing up for a live workshop this week, and I'm really happy, and I feel really honored that you are spending this time with me and with us. It's interesting. I heard from a friend how he's doing his AA meetings online, and I was hearing from another friend about how they're doing meditation sittings online. So I kind of think of this as our little refuge here, this community of change makers being able to come together and just strengthen each other, air out what's happening and get some tools for how we can step up more powerfully in these challenging times. So let me just take a look at comments and see where we're at. Thanks, Pat. You're telling me it's looking good. Carl says it looks and sounds good. Excellent. Mark, yay, you're on the line. Jenny, so good to see you. Okay, excellent. So folks, just because, there's a lot of people that could probably use this kind of gathering today, this sort of heart-filled hangout and workshop. And so by liking or sharing this video right now, it really helps other people to find it. It'll show up in their news feed and they can join us for this workshop. So again, liking, sharing, and if there's somebody in particular that you think could really benefit from this today, tag them in the comments. And further to the whole idea of this is our little refuge, this is our little sanctuary here. I want you to be part of this. Okay, I wish I could have you all here in a circle around me, but I'm going to consider this a virtual circle around me, and I would really love if you participated as much as possible. Okay, so anything that you want to react to in the comments, please do, even if it's just a good laugh, and it doesn't have to be anything profound that you put in the comments. Just let me know you're here. Let me know you're watching. Tell me what's helping and if you have any questions. So today our workshop is building a daily practice to calm and empower you in unsettling times. So in the next hour, I'm going to talk about why, as helpers of the world, we have to get really deliberate in centering ourselves right now, okay? Why that's vital, and a daily practice is kind of a key thing in that keeping empowered and calm. We're going to workshop a bunch of tools that can make up this daily practice, okay? So not just a sort of hit and miss, oh, I'm freaking out, I got to find a tool to calm down, but something, an actual routine that you can do every day that's set down, you know what to do, and it is just going to be that piece that is going to take you from to okay, now I can handle things. I'm going to take you through some exercises today. I'm not just going to talk about it. I'd like to that earlier, but have pen and paper handy because this is a listen shop. We're going to take you through some exercises and more empowered right here and right now. So I want you to leave this this hangout feeling so much more sort of grounded and ready to get at whatever your mission is, or whether even you've decided this is a time of retreat for you, which in the Tuesdays live, I really talked about the fact that as change makers, we don't have a lot of chances to get rest and restorative time. This may be that time that is just calling to you. There probably isn't a time that you have to stand down more than this time. So I really, really encourage those that need a rest to take a rest now. And I'm also going to field any questions that come up from you guys as far as navigating in these pandemic times. So again, like and share will sort of get this out to more of our people. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Kimberly Carroll, and I am a coach for Changemakers. I help people do the inner work. People that are trying to make a difference in the world, to do the inner work and to create these sort of high performance habits and strategies, action plans that will help you to really power up your mission and power up you. Yeah, like I really am passionate about working with you guys because you're the ones that are trying to move the needle in this world. And so it's really, today I really want to try and help my peeps here to navigate through this very interesting time with some really particular tools. So I'm just going to go over to the comments and just take a look and see what's happening over here. Hello, Irene. Karen, God, yay, you made it. Ivan, nice to see you. Loren, good to see you back, darling. Kaylee, joining us from BC. We got Don here. My mom's here. Mom's in the house. Sorry, I got lost. Was back to Tuesday workshop. Sound is good. I'm so happy my mom is here. We had a little chat after Tuesdays, and I said to her, when there's a video and that you've made and somebody puts the haha sign, you automatically in this hater world you think, oh, somebody's making fun of me. It was my mom. She just thought it was funny. She laughed a few times, so she hit the laugh button. So I love you, Mom. Love you. Okay, and awesome. Doug's here. Hi, Doug. Awesome, Jenny. You're inviting Julie. I'd love to see Julie here. And Sarah, honey, you're here. Anne, excellent. I haven't seen you for a while, darling. Okay, X, what a crew. I'm loving this. So let me just get organized here on my screen. I just want to take a quick pulse before we sort of dive in. Everybody is experiencing this unprecedented time in very different ways and at different points. Like I had a coachee the other day who she's been great for 2 weeks. She's been solid. And then yesterday she's like, oh my God, I just realized like it's just sunk in. So everybody sort of hits it at different times. I want to get a sense of, right now, get a pulse on where everybody is at. Today, so many of you here are caretakers and leaders. And I know that your natural instinct is to step up and help and organize and lead by example. And thank you. That is so needed right now. We need you all to stand up and show up as loving presences in this world that's reeling right now. And I also have to acknowledge that you need to also be managing what's happening for you. You are also going through total, surreal, life-changing circumstances. And so you, of course, everybody knows the oxygen mask thing. You need to apply your oxygen mask first before assisting others. Otherwise, you drop down to the floor unconscious and you're no good to anybody, okay? So in order to show up in the way that you kind of ideally want to show up in your integrity, you really need to be able to start investing in a daily routine of exercises and tools to help you process what's coming up for you and to anchor you. So before we go any further, let's just do that, okay? Let's just get centered. Everybody's coming from different places virtually. Probably everybody hasn't moved a lot further than a few hundred square feet in the last few days, except maybe for groceries. But your mind is probably everywhere, okay? So I want to just take us through a quick little check-in, quick little meditation to center us so that you can really kind of be here and take this in today, okay? So I'm going to ask everybody to close your eyes, and I'm going to do it too because I need it. And the first thing I want you to do is just to take in just the most generous big breath. And that's probably not going to be enough to kind of get rid of all the junk that's rolling around in your mind, spinning around in your mind right now. So let's make it even more dramatic. Let's raise the arms above the head. Let's just clasp the hands and give yourself a nice big stretch up and back. Maybe go side to side a little bit. Feeling a little bit of cracks in the back, even though I've been doing going back and forth and really enjoying sort of feeling the body, coming into the body again. And then what I want you to do is I want you to notice all the tension in your body, all the anxiety, all the frenetic energy. I mean, all of us are kind of going at a 10 these days. And I want you to breathe into that. And on the out breath, I want you to shake it out, sigh it out, shake out the head, shake out the shoulders, shake out the hips, shake out the belly, shake out the torso, shake out the face, and this is really important, shake out the lips. Good. And now maybe being able to settle a little bit. Let's do some shoulder rolls, slow shoulder rolls backwards, just to really get into the body, just to really loosen up. Oh, that's good. Again, keeping the eyes closed or just letting the eyes sort of go downwards so you can focus. Good, and then letting the shoulders relax, letting yourself really sink into this seat. And get quiet. Listening to one sound right now in your environment. And then letting the shoulders relax. Letting the brows start to soften and relax. Almost like that tension's just melting out. Moving the lower jaw back and forth a few times. Creating some big O's with the mouth. How many people have been clenching their jaws? Unclench, loosen, and then let everything go slack. Coming down into the lower belly. Breathing into the lower belly. And seeing if you could just soften. Notice how much you've been hanging on in the lower belly. And just letting it get soft. Just for right now. Letting go of the needing to go and do and figure it out, nail it down, and just let the belly be. Coming up into the upper stomach. And just noticing, oh my goodness, what is happening in the upper stomach. That's where we tend to hold a lot of fear, anxiety. So just relax the body and then letting, with the next out breath, the upper stomach start to soften. Letting some of that tension go, having mercy on yourself and softening this stomach. And then now coming into the heart. Just notice with affection how hard this heart has been working. Breathing into it, noticing how it's been holding or tight or heavy or again frenetic. Breathing into the heart, and then on the next couple of exhales, just softening the heart. Seeing if the heart could just fall open. Letting go in the heart. And now bringing your hands to the heart, okay? And just resting the hands on the heart. And first of all, just sort of feeling the warmth of the hands through the chest, through the heart, just kind of almost feeling held by this. I know you might not be able to be physically held by a lot of people right now. but the person that is going to be with you from last breath to first breath to last breath, guaranteed, right here, being present, loving and holding you. And so just with a lot of tenderness and curiosity, I want you to ask yourself, how are you, my dear? Sweetie, buddy, how you doing? And then just notice what comes up, what feelings come up when you ask that. And I want you to give a name just silently to each feeling that you become aware of, naming it and breathing into it. And let's just go down just a little deeper, as if this was kind of the surface level, and you might be able to just kind of sink down even deeper into yourself. With each breath, just softening into yourself deeper, letting go deeper, and just landing into even a more quiet, hidden place. And see what's happening down here. What's down in this place? What sort of is needing your attention right now? It could be something awesome. It could be something really hard. Whatever it is, just allow it. Just be with it right now. Breathe into it fully. Whatever's down here is needing some space. It's needing some attention. It needs to be worked with. So breathe into it. If it's something awesome, breathe into it to savor it, to let it expand. If it's something hard, you can breathe into it to nurture it, soften it, give it some space. Okay, letting the hands go. Let's take in one more cleansing breath. And on the exhale, shaking out any last little residual bit of tension. And when you're ready, coming back to eyes open. Oh yeah, I feel it. Oh, the sound was gone. Sorry, but it's back. Hopefully it wasn't out for too long. Was it out for very long, guys? Okay, meanwhile, while I'm waiting to hear that from that, Cody's joined. Excellent. Julie, Janice. Oh my gosh, Darren. Hello, everybody. Love it. Okay, so I'm wondering how that was for you. I'm wondering whether you were able to kind of sink into that, or whether there was a lot of resistance, whether there were just some moments of kind of like, okay, yeah, no, I feel this. I can relax the body, the mind a little bit, or whether it was just full on. So let me know in the comments how that was. Okay, so like I said, thank you so much for sharing and liking so that we're getting more people able to join us. And I know that now is the time, basically, that you are deciding it's time probably to step up a little bit. I mean, we've had a couple of weeks to reel, and bounce off the walls, but it looks like this is going to go on for quite a long time, folks. So we need to get a little bit more conscious about how we're going to show up in all of this. And so maybe you're starting to ask yourself, how do I want to show up? What do I want to model? What is needed right now? What is the energy I need to emanate during these uncertain times? So, what would being in my integrity for this look like? Maybe you're just trying to figure that out. So I'd love for you to add in the comments right now, everybody who's here, to tell me, how would you like to show up right now in this? What is there a particular quality, again, that you would like to model or emanate? Or maybe you don't want to lead or model, but you just want to be right now. So just in the comments, sharing with me a little bit about just, what it is that you would really like to cultivate, what your presence would be if you had your choice around it. And thank you. Okay, thank you guys for letting me know the sound wasn't out for too long. Okay. Kathleen says the sound is out again for her. Is it out for anybody else? Maybe that's why nobody's answering my call for suggestions. Okay, so if there is anybody that wants to share, what quality you'd really like to emanate right now, what quality you feel would be most in your integrity to be in during these times, just put it in the comments. All right, so once you have a bit of a sense of how you want to show up, it's going to become really clear that you need to put some daily practices in place in order to not get taken down by the uncertainty, the anxiety, the panic sort of mode that everybody's in right now. And that practice, I do a daily practice almost daily. That is just part of how I work. And a daily practice to basically ground me, center me, empower me. And so really I'm still doing the same thing. I just kind of need to be even more vigilant around it, because there's a lot of talking ourselves out of good habits right now. Oh my God, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I can eat that extra piece of cake. Oh, we're in a pandemic. I don't really need to do my exercise. Or it's okay if I'm bitchy. Like we're in the middle of a pandemic. So I think, again, I understand, and we have to have compassion for ourselves. This is tough times, but at some point we've got to go, okay, again, this is going to go on for a while. We need to get really deliberate about how we're going to show up. Just going to check and see here about the sound. Okay, great. We've got some qualities you would like to emanate. June's wanting to support her energy medicine community. Of course you are. Anne would really love to embody a sense of peace. Carl's saying the video is unstable, interrupted here and there, but mostly good. Judy's saying she would really like to be able to embody compassion and acceptance. So these are all wonderful things. Keep them coming. I'd be really curious to find out. So my daily practice I usually do in the morning, but you could do a daily practice in the morning, the afternoon, before bedtime, or you could break it up into different things. But it's just a matter of nailing down speaks to, again, your mental, emotional, spiritual health, and really sticking with it. When people are starting a practice of this sort, I usually have them have a little checklist so that every day they can check it off and get used to doing it before it becomes second nature. But I want to go through what some of the elements I think of a daily practice right now are and what would be especially important right now. And I'm going to give you a few different options for what exercises, what particular tools you could use. So not everything's going to resonate with everybody, so I want to give you some options. So the very first thing, and we kind of did that right off the top, is it's so important to get grounded in the body right now, folks. Anxiety comes from being in our head, from being in the future, in the past. If you were to sort of check in right here, right now, you would recognize that you're probably okay. Okay, it's not like there's some danger, it's uncertain, but you're okay. You're probably in a warm place. You probably have some food. You probably have some people who are caring from you, even if it's from afar. We have a great, we're really lucky to be in such a wealthy, a lot of us are in very wealthy countries with good medical systems. I mean, there's certainly going to be compromised, but right now we really do need to recognize that we're okay. Okay? So the way to get out of the head and out of this anxious state, first of all, is to get into the body, okay? To just get into the wisdom of your body. So again, that's why we did the stretching. That's why we did the shaking it out, to really come back into the body. Because when you come back into the body, you escape from the prison of the mind. And so whether that means a little stretch exercise when you first get up, whether that means making sure you are getting an exercise routine back into place, whether I'm loving the online yoga cardio classes that are being, streamed online right now. So there's just so many options. And I'm luckily in a place in Canada, like in Canada right now, we can still go out for a run or a walk as long as we keep our safe distance. So yeah, once again, very lucky for that. And, to be able to really take advantage of that. So there's got to be some sort of grounding in the body aspect to your daily practice. Then the other piece that is so very important right now, I think it's always important, but it's at the top of my list right now, and that is release tools. Okay, so we're collecting all this information, all these emotions are coming up, just so much flooding the body right now. We're in overload. So the thoughts that are sensations in the body. They're physiological, chemical reactions in the body. So it's really important to work with releasing them from the body. I mean, we can work on our mind and making sort of our mindset a little bit better, and we'll get into that in a second. But on a primal level, we need to get the shit out of our bodies, okay? So we did that again. One of the things we did is we did that shakeout, okay? So in these times, you should be doing a shakeout on a regular basis. It can be just a quick little, you like when I do that? And or it can be a full-on adult temper tantrum, like 30 seconds or 3 minutes of playing loud music and just like getting it all out. Oh my God, it feels so good, guys. In fact, you know what? Let's do this, okay? Everybody get on your feet right now, and I can see you if you're not doing this. Get on your feet, and I know you're only going to see part of my body, okay? I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to just feel all the stuff in your body and where in the head, in the gut, wherever it is. And on the count of 3, I want you to just stomp. I want you to make noise. I want you to kick. I want you to flail. I want you to do whatever you can to shake it out. 1, 2, 3. Well, if you were just sitting there watching me do that, I hope a lot of that, because humor is also another important practice to have every day. So you're welcome. Just checking the comments. How was that, folks? Did you do it with me? Did you do it with me? Okay. Yeah, Shake It Off song, Taylor Swift. Irene's got this down pat. Okay, and a couple of other comments that came in. And you're still in treatment, so very high risk. My family says I'm being ridiculous to be so positive. Doom and gloom gets us nowhere. Hallelujah, Janice. This calm, this sense of being empowered in a sometimes very disempowering situation, it really does chip away at our immune system. Very basic physical level. This is mandatory stuff right now. Janice said, dog thinks I'm mad. Janice, you got into it. That means you got into it. Okay, grab your pen and paper. I'm going to show you another release exercise. And people helpful in this exploring. We'll do a sort of little piece of that in a bit. But mind dump is a little different, okay? Mind dump is just stream of consciousness writing, not worrying about grammar, not worrying about spelling, not worrying about if it makes sense, not worrying. It's not for posterity, no censoring, no anything. It's just whatever's happening in the head, I want you to write it down on the paper, okay? So I want you to grab your paper right now. Grab your paper right now. And we're just going to take 3 minutes to do this, okay? We'll make this really quick. So I just want you to have a taste of this and do this, okay? Again, this is not a listen shop. This is a workshop. So grab your pen, get your paper, and I want you now to just start, Okay, just start writing things like, okay, well, that was strange. I just watched her like jump around. Oh my God, what am I going to make for dinner? Am I going to be employed next month? Well, whatever's coming up, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Just letting whatever's happening, and it could just be feelings. It doesn't even have to be thoughts. It could just be like, oh, terrified, excited, whatever. Just get it out. And sometimes if there's lots happening, just really like get some elbow grease into there. Really write it out. Hopefully you haven't lost video, June. I think maybe just because I'm staying still. Okay, last 30 seconds. Get whatever you need out. Get it out on that piece of paper, out of your head, out of your body, and onto that piece of paper. Okay. And now I'd like for you to take that piece of paper and I want you to rip the shit out of it, okay? Rip it up. Rip out that piece of paper. Rip it up. Just rip up that piece of paper. Get it out of you. Come on. Rip it up. Rip it up into as small, many pieces as possible. Even if there's some good stuff on here, just kind of to clear some space. Clear some space. Make a mess. Okay. Good. Anybody here do the mind dump on a regular basis? Is this a tool? I think I've taught quite a few people in here about the mind dump. Just share a little bit about how that was for you or how the mind dump is in general. So for the release exercises, you've got mind dump, you've got shaking it out, you've got just really being able to just do a quick little movement, even just to shake out of the head, but some way to move out, put on some music and even just like move it out. It doesn't have to be temper tantrum. It can just be moving it out of your body. All right. Next, a third step in practice that's really important right now, and that's presence tools, okay? So again, we are so in our mind and so not present right now as a society, and the present moment is where the juice is. That's where the power is. And so it's just really important to start kind of finding a way to let the mind ease a little bit so that we can be, okay? Now, we did a little meditation right near the beginning. So, 5 minutes of meditation can go a long way. Or even just through the day, having it set on your phone every hour to take a breath break, to take this moment where you breathe and you just sort of feel the room and the moment around you. If you are able to go outside and walk, or even just be able to do a backyard where you can just do some circles, do some mindful walking where you really feel the feet, sort of different parts of the feet hit the ground and feel the movement of, of your face and your skin through the air, just being really conscious. So not a walk where you go 3 blocks and you went, oh, I don't even remember the last 3 blocks because I was so in my head, but where you're just appreciating everything. And I know it feels a bit weird, but with spring popping up with the backdrop of this, it is a little jarring, but what a blessing. What a blessing that we have this world coming alive outside with all the new birds coming back and buds starting. And I saw my first crocuses this week. I almost jumped. I did jump for joy. I'll be honest. I jumped for joy and took a picture. You'll see it. So it's a conscious walk in nature can be really, or even just in your backyard or on your balcony can be amazing. Let's do one little quick exercise that's really tangible around this idea of presence, okay? So just for a second, this will be real quick. Close your eyes and just find a surface that's really close to you, okay? And it could be your pant leg, it could be the table, it could be a pillow. And I want you to just, with your fingertips, feel this surface, this texture. Feeling if it's bumpy or smooth, feeling if it's cool or warm. And then using your palm to feel the same texture, whole world of difference in just a little different part of the hand. Good. And now, tuning into one sound. One, just really loving that sound. Just falling in love with that sound. And now noticing the taste in your mouth. Notice one smell in the air. And now opening your eyes and just looking at one thing in this space. And really looking at it. Not just glazed eyes over, but really maybe seeing it for the first time. And then taking a deep breath. Now that took all of probably 2 minutes. And I just want you to notice how maybe things feel just a little less surreal. Maybe just a little bit more alive. Okay. All right, excellent. I'm back to the comments. Judy said, with all the ice here, you sure have to be present when walking. No thinking aloud, or you're going to be taking a trip to the hospital. Okay, let's move on to the fourth aspect of a daily practice, and that is appreciation. Okay, appreciation. A lot of people talk about gratitude. I like the word appreciation because it just feels a little bit more natural and easier. And, you know, basically right now, so many of us are focused on what is wrong. And yeah, there's a lot of scary shit going on, and we need to be diligent in keeping everyone safe. But focusing constantly on what is scary and bad is burning our systems out. Plus, working from a hopeless place is not a powerful place to work. So for those of us trying to help and still make change in this world, it's just not a powerful place to start from, okay? We start from a deficit. So the way to sort of counter what is a pretty natural negativity bias, I mean, it doesn't take a pandemic for us to, you know, go into scanning for the negative stuff. That's our biology. We were basically equipped back in prehistoric ages to always be on high alert because we could be attacked by a saber-toothed tiger or any number of predators back then in a second. But now that's still with us. And even though we are relatively okay and safe most of the time, our systems can still be scanning always for what's wrong. So a wonderful way to counter this is a regular practice of appreciation, of recognizing and scanning for what is right, what is good. Appreciation helps us to feel more relaxed and connected and stronger, which allows us to be, again, much more strong and powerful in making the change. So there's plenty of ways to practice appreciation. I mean, you could do an appreciation share if you're with people in sort of your household at the end of the day or in the morning. You could do a little appreciation share, you know, 3 things that you're appreciative of from the day that was or the day that is about to be. You can do just sort of a speak out loud appreciation, but I really like a written appreciation list. So we're going to try that now. Grab your pen and paper, and This appreciation list might be a bit different than what you think. I don't want you to write down all just the general things. I mean, you can. Right now, again, this pandemic sort of makes us tune into the bigger picture and how lucky we are in a lot of ways. But it can also just be about small things. So I want you to just make a list of 10 things that you appreciate about the day that was. We can include yesterday and the day that's been so far. Maybe what's ahead for the day, what you have the day ahead, or in general, like the things that you just have really tuned into that you're like, oh my God, wow, am I ever a lucky person? So writing a list right now, let's do it. Okay, so just 10 things. I'll give you like about a minute and a half. It shouldn't take you that long. There's a lot of things to appreciate right now. It could be anything from, just that earlier. It could be to be able to have the privilege of the internet so that I can, have this cocktail hour with my family. It could be just seeing my cat in the sunbeam right now. It could be, oh my God, that new Sarah Harmer album that just came out. I'm sorry, I'm giving you mine, but just giving you some examples. And I'm going to get I was at appreciation list. Okay, I've got my assistant here telling me where I was at. Okay, so we're doing the appreciation list. I think let's go to the next exercise. I'm not sure how much of the appreciation you got, the appreciation list, but I was asking for folks to share in the comments what you appreciate, what came up on that list. I really love to hear. And moving on to the next piece of a daily practice, and that is a self-compassion tool. So we especially in these times of not being able to access all of the people and support we often do, we are going to rely even more on ourselves. But that's not a bad thing. To be able to develop the relationship with yourself, that sense of being able to self-soothe and self-support is an amazing thing. So what we want to do is give you a few tools, because everybody hears about, you have a deeper relationship with yourself and more self-love, blah, blah, blah. But how the heck do you do that? So I want to give you a couple of ideas. I like to do a little writing exercise that we'll try in just a second. But first of all, there's a little exercise that seems a little bit hokey, but I think it can be really powerful. And that is, we often look in the mirror to check and make sure our hairs are fine, there's nothing in our nose. And often we spend that time sort of berating ourselves and, oh my God, look at the bags under your eyes, or what's wrong with your hair, or whatever it is. And this could be just a quick little opportunity to just bring some love to yourself, just bring a little bit of sort of loving presence to yourself. So, you could have this as a formalized part of your practice, like near the end of your soul practice. If you're doing it in the morning or the evening, you could just go to the mirror and you could just kind of look in the mirror and you could just go, whew, wow, it's been tough, honey. It's been really tough. I think you've been showing up the best way you can. I love you. Don't worry. We'll keep working at it. Or it might be, looking in the mirror and going, whoa, you nailed that today. That was excellent, like really excellent. Basically looking in the mirror and giving yourself the kind of feedback and reflection that you would give to some of your most beloved beings in your life. Okay? Like, I know that you guys are really good at being great supporters, your leaders and everything. And so you've got really great practice. It doesn't often apply, to this self. So you need to that you take whatever compassion sort of skills you have and you find ways to point them inward. Okay, so again, it doesn't even have to be talking to yourself in the mirror. It could just be looking and just this really soft look, and just really looking in those eyes that are so full of pain, or so full of wonder, or so full of magnificence, to really look and witness yourself. Okay, and again, I know it seems a little odd, and it might feel a little odd to start with, but it can be just a wonderful way for you to just get to know yourself better and become more of an ally as opposed to an enemy. Okay, I'm just checking in the comments. Oh, good. We got a couple of people back anyway. I'm just going to finish this off for you, just so you have it. Okay. And the other little exercise that I love for self-compassion is something I call the pained self and expansive self exercise. So I want you to grab your pen and paper one more time, and I want you to do this. So for just 2 minutes, I want you to write on that paper from just that place in you that's feeling really vulnerable and raw, and the place that is maybe worried or sad or angry, anything that's making you feel kind of tight or heavy or limited. I want you to just write, okay? I just want you to get it off your chest. No being diplomatic, no seeing the gift in it, just kind of going into that little kid inside of you that's saying, no. Okay, so write down. Let's do 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes just writing from that place. And where is that in your body? Where do you feel the sort of most discomfort or pain in your body right now, emotionally, which translates to physically often? And just really writing from that place. What's weighing on you? What have you had to hide from other people because you're trying to be positive? What have you not wanted to admit? Just writing it down. We're trying this tool around self-compassion. Well, we had Colette join. Hi, honey. And so just really getting into it, not holding back, not being brave or big. Just allowing what's been brewing, what's been sitting there to come out. We need to give this stuff place to be, place to air out. Okay, 30 more seconds to finish this off. And now I want you to put your pen down, okay? I want you to actually put your pen down in front of you. And now I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take a big cleansing breath. And I want you to roll the shoulders back a few times. And now I want you to tune in to something beyond that sort of small, limited place inside of you. I want you to tune in to the big, wide open sky above you. And this big, generous, powerful earth beneath you. And while we're talking elements, man, the fire, that inner fire, tuning into that, and the water that flows through this earth. Just tuning into the bigness of things, the expansiveness of things. And maybe tuning into your most expansive self, whatever that feels or looks like. Maybe you can even picture that version of yourself. Maybe they're like a giant with just the kindest, most loving smile. Or maybe it's just shimmering light. but just that part of you that is tapped into this boundless universal nature and all its wisdom and power and knowing. And from that place now, I want you to pick up your pen again. And I want you to write back to that pained self from this more expansive, tuned in place where you're not alone in this. And I want you to just write back to this first piece that you wrote, okay? It doesn't have to be anything in particular. It can just be, hey, I hear you, honey. I'm here. Not going anywhere. Like, oh, wow, like, this could be a key to something, and let's look into this. Or, oh, wow, you really screwed up, but you're still a good person. I got your back. We will do this. Like, here it is. Okay, I'm going to shut up. You write from that expansive place. Breathing deeply, deeply into that more spaciousness as you write. And if you just joined, get writing. From just that really rooted, loving presence place, what do you have to say back to this more scared, in-pained, limited, contracted self? Maybe maybe you even have some really particular advice that's going to come up, or direction, or next actions. Or maybe it's something really general, just love. If you're finished, write in the comments if anything kind of interesting came up, or what came up for you when you wrote back from that more expansive place. I'd be curious to hear, a little tidbit about what came up. Aw, hi Jill. Nice to see you. Yeah, it's good. I lost everybody. We had a whole gang and my internet fizzed out and we lost most people, but thank you for the ones that have come back and joined for the end. That's awesome. Okay, so wrapping that up and, sharing in the comments, was there anything that came up? How did it feel to tune into that more expansive self? Okay, two last little pieces in the daily practice sort of puzzle. And that is, one is joy. Well, let's start with joy. We Changemakers often dismiss joy as decadent, especially in times like this. We're just like, there's no time for joy. How can you be joyful? Oh my God, we've just got to worry. We just got to clamp down and worry. So not smart. Joy is like fuel for us humans. And what do we need right now to fight what we're fighting? We need fuel. There are so many studies that show how much joy boosts our immune system, and just at the base physiological level. So never mind what it does to our mood and our ability to show up again as a loving presence, to be of true service in this time. So we're not great at having sort of bite-sized pieces of joy in our lives as it is. But like I said, right now, it's kind of been stomped out by a lot of people. I'm hearing wonderful stories of people finding, bits of joy here and there, and especially in unusual places. So that's awesome. But so right now, how I'm going to suggest that you incorporate joy as a daily practice. Everybody has a to-do list. I want you to add one thing on your to-do list per day, just one little bite-sized piece of joy, something that brings you joy. And what we're going to do is we're going to just make a little list right now of bite-sized pieces of joy. We'll call it our joy arsenal, of things, not that, we can do months from now, but like little pieces of joy that we could weave into kind of what our limits are, our parameters are right now. So whether that is, I'm going to spend 10 hours a day. I would love to spend 10 hours a day cuddling my cat. 10 minutes a day with just a special deliberate cat cuddle. Or it could just be, I'm going to play the guitar for 10 minutes. I'm going to listen to, an album each day that really brings me alive. It could be, I'm going to read one poem from that book of poetry, of that Rumi poetry. I'm going to allow myself a half an hour to play video games with my kid. So I want you to just right now come up with just a few items, and it could just be even as simple as I'm going to make sure I have my favorite tea every day. Okay, so write down these little things within these parameters that we have right now. You joy. Okay, this is going to be your little joy list, your little joy arsenal. So I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes for that. And again, this is not a listen shop, this is a workshop, so make sure you're doing the work. And as you add each thing to the list, just a little smile, just thinking about it, just thinking about doing it, thinking about feeling it. I heard a story about these fellas that went out for a bike ride the other day, and they just decided that they were going to make eye contact, wave, say hello to everybody they passed, and that just brought them so much joy. At the end of their bike ride, they were just so amped up, felt so connected. Maybe there is just a particular view from your balcony that just makes you go, and that's just something that you're going to need to do every day. Okay, so, I wanted you to get started with this. Please, let's share in the comments. What are a couple of things on your joy list? Nice and easy, put it in the comments. I want to hear what's happening. To be able to I want to get a little bit of joy vicariously through you. So what are some joys that ended up on that list? And the real trick with this is, as a daily practice, to take something from that list each day. And the reason we have a list is so that's not so hard, because in times like this, joy can feel hard. It can feel hard to figure out, well, how do I find joy? Well, if you have a nice little list already made, you're like, okay, I can't think of anything. Oh, okay, yeah, right here. I'm gonna watch this YouTube video I've been saving, or whatever it is. Okay. The last piece that I really love for a soul practice, a grounding, empowering practice, is setting an intention for the day. So this pretty well has to be done. This is one of the practices that does need to be done first thing in the day. But we talked earlier in the workshop about, on the other workshop that got cut off, we talked about how this is the time, after a couple of weeks of kind of just freaking out and bouncing off the walls, that I think it's important for us to start thinking about, how do we want to show up in this? What do we want to emulate? And this is something we can do each day. We can think about each day as we set an intention for the day. So an intention for the day isn't just a to-do. It's not just like, okay, my intention today is clean the kitchen. No, it's about what quality are we going to bring to our life today. So it can go two ways. You can have something that you're going to be doing today that you decide, I want to bring a particular quality to it. So it's like, okay, yeah, I have to declutter today. That's what I'm doing. but I'm going to just bring this sense of play to it. Okay, I'm going to get really playful about it. And then it's just kind of a practice in really being deliberate in our state. Okay, really being the creator of our energy as opposed to just reacting to our entire life. So setting an intention isn't about this blanket thing. It's about kind of playing with the idea of being able to shape your energy a little bit more deliberately. The other way that you can approach it, so you can decide that there is a thing in your day and apply a quality to that. So it could be also, I'm going to have a really possibly contentious online meeting, and to decide what quality you want to bring to it. Maybe that quality is going to be to stand firm and strong, or maybe that quality is going to be to relax and sit back and surrender. Very different qualities that will bring very different sort of results to that meeting, depending on it. Or the other option when you're setting an intention is to just think, okay, what is a quality I would love to feel today? So some of you named qualities earlier in the chat about what you would really like to emulate. So thinking about that, okay, thinking, I'd really love to emulate some peace right now. I really like to embody peace. Well, don't just say today I'm going to be peaceful. That'll go out the window in 2 seconds. But think about where in your day, what you can particularly apply that to. So you can say, okay, you know what? In dealing with my kids today or teaching my kids, I'm going to just really embody peace. Or when I'm doing that report that's due, I'm just going to keep on deep breathing, and I'm just going to embody peace around it. Or you can decide on something very different. You can decide, I want to feel kind of sexy today, And so you bring that sexiness to my workout, or during happy hour with my partner. I'm going to bring that sort of energy, sexy. So it's how that works is when you get to that place in your life, in your day, when you get to that activity, you're going to go boom. Oh, what was the quality? Right. And you're going to be able to practice actually creating your state. It's just a really great way, again, to get more deliberate in your life. Okay. I think there's 2 questions that I just wanted to just address that came up in the last workshop on Tuesday. And one was about dealing with judgment. Before I go into that, though, sorry, can I just find out? I'm just going to comments and just see if we had any joys. Okay, yes, good. Marlene, you said dance for 10 minutes a day. It's amazing. Yeah, if that can be on your joy list, if that can just be a part of your daily practice, then that's amazing. Kathleen, banging pots, thanking healthcare workers. Oh, that's awesome, Kathleen. Is that just tonight that's happening, or does that happen in Vancouver every day right now at 7 p.m.? Let me know. Let us know. Okay, that's awesome. So let me finish off with this practice before I go into the other little pieces. So I just the daily practice, I want you to sort of take away, and I know some of you have been in and out, but if you want to go back to the first video and rewatch that, or watch it, you probably haven't watched it, and just get some ideas on sort of the different, I gave you about 6 different sections of what is important to have in a daily practice to ground and empower you. And I give you a few suggestions for each one. Just see which resonated with you, and just for the next week, try it, okay? Choose one from each section and try it, or just try 1 or 2. You don't need to bite off a bunch. Just choose a couple of things from this workshop that really resonated with you and make it and formalize it as a practice. Keep track of it with a little chart, and let me know how it goes. Drop me a line here on Facebook or email me, whichever. Also, as far as the self-compassion tools go, I have an amazing self-compassion tool called FACE. It's an acronym. FACE, feel, ask, passion, and evolve. And I'm going to be sharing that in a video early next week. So if you're not on my email list and you want to make sure that you get that tool, make sure you jump on to KimberlyCarroll.com and subscribe to my email list, and you will get that video early next week. Or I will be posting it here on my Facebook page as well. Okay, so right back to the question about judgment. Is anybody else dealing with judgment these days? Like your judgment sort of rising up a lot? Well, while I'm waiting for you to answer to that, Carl said, a joy for you is riding your exercise bike and burning off stress, and taking advantage of the stock market, and watching vintage game shows and comedy. That's awesome. I love those things on your list. Okay. So the judgment piece. Oh man, like people are talking about how people are being too careless or too stringent. Especially the tighter we get right now, the more that we have judgment about things, right? The more that we are bothered and irritated, and that people's actions are rubbing us the wrong way. And granted, yeah, like some people's actions are endangering a lot of people. So I get it. I understand why this is really concerning. And of course, this might require you to speak up very firmly and boldly, or to disagree, or to put boundaries in place. But I think the key is doing this with compassion as opposed to judgment, okay? So knowing that everyone is stumbling through in their own way. Whether they're scared of the virus, whether they're scared of their freedom being taken away, whether they're scared of their dignity being taken away. And fear, folks, can make us just act out in really shitty ways. And the other thing that really helps me in terms of judgment is realizing that people don't all have the information. And you might be saying, well, they should have the information. Some people don't have the capacity to really understand or take in the information for whatever reason, for whatever limits, whether they're emotional limits, intellectual limits, or whatever. Not their fault, okay? Again, that doesn't mean that we don't put boundaries in place. That doesn't mean we don't say stop. This is not acceptable, but it means that you do whatever you need to do with some tenderness in your heart, as opposed to, what the fuck is wrong with you? That energy of othering, that energy of hate is not going to help us through this time, okay? So if you can do it with a tender heart, and also what really helps me is to remember all the times, probably just recently, where I have acted out of ignorance or I haven't gotten it, okay? And so there's been many in my life, and they will continue. And so I just sort of tune into that and go, oh yeah, I was that person. The other question that somebody asked was about how to avoid empathy overload. She said, what about when people need your help or moral support in the moment when you need some time to ground yourself? Which probably applies to a lot of us here. We're, again, my peeps, you're all people pleasers, you're all caretakers, you're all leaders. Try to keep in mind that when you try to show up for people when you're running on fumes, no good will come of this, okay? No good will come of this. First of all, you will eventually burn out. And if you don't burn out, you're only going to bring sort of a half-life, a half of yourself to these people, okay? You're kind of going to bring just a little piece of yourself, and it's not going to be sort of the rich, really deep, helpful part of yourself. They're not going to benefit from all your love and your presence and wisdom. And then thirdly, if you keep on showing up for people when you got nothing left, the resentment will build, and that is a relationship killer. Okay, if you are just starting to resent having to be, being obligated to be there, you're going to start trying to distance yourself from that person, those people, or people in general. And again, that's no good for anybody. That's not good for the other person. They don't want your relationship to deteriorate because of this. So what you got to do is you just got to really stand and honor yourself, and just, and do it in a loving way, and just say, I want to be there for you and I will be there for you, but I need a bit of time. Okay, or I need this little bit of a boundary, but I love you, and I'm only doing this because I really want to show up for you fully and completely, and with this as much as I got. Okay, so there's a really wonderful, loving ways that you can put boundaries in place. All right. Well, I really thank you for coming back. Those of you who joined me after our last call kind of went kaput because of the internet. Thank you, folks, and I hope you got something out of this. I am just wanted to let you know that I am going to be here doing a live workshop every Thursday at 1 p.m. And so I hope you'll come and join me next week. I am not sure what the topic is yet. If you have some ideas on what you'd like me to cover, please let me know. But everything's sort of changing so quickly. I don't like to plan too much ahead of time because there's a whole new reality every 2 days. So, but if you have some ideas of something you'd like me to workshop, I would love to hear it either in the comments here or you can drop me a line. And I invite you to put your daily practice into place, even if it's just 1 or 2 items. We really need you to be in your full self. And in order to do that, you need to nurture yourself, okay? You need to honor and take care of you. And then you will rise up to be able to be exactly that light and that strength that you would ideally like to bring to the world right now. All right? So thank you very much. Love you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful day.